The starship Eidolon drifted near the glittering rings of Vera 4, its sensors pinging softly. Darius leaned back in the captain's chair, scanning the displays. The science vessel he escorted, Athena's Light, was busy gathering data from the mineral-rich rings. Everything seemed calm, until the Sovereignty ships arrived. They appeared without warning, 6 sleek frigates sliding from warp, black as obsidian, glowing faintly with lines of crimson energy. They blocked every exit vector. Their presence was unmistakable. Darius straightened, jaw tightening. All stations, alert status. Signal Athena's Light to halt operations immediately. Before his crew could respond further, a transmission cut across the channel. A hologram flickered into life at the center of the bridge. She stood there, tall, slender, radiating authority. Her armor shimmered with silver scales that caught the light, and a flowing crimson cloak framed her figure. A circlet rested upon her brow, inset with a gem that pulsed like a living star. Her eyes, an otherworldly shade of violet, seemed to pierce through every defense. "I am Princess Serenya of the Sovereignty of Xelyra," she announced, voice sharp, commanding. "You have trespassed upon sacred grounds. This violation cannot be ignored." Darius rose from his chair. "Princess, with respect, this is neutral territory according to our charts. Our survey ship was conducting peaceful research. There was no intent to offend." Her lips curved, not quite a smile, more like the faintest hint of disdain. "Intent does not erase the crime. By our law, I am empowered to claim judgment here." The Sovereignty's frigates armed their weapons, glowing ports ready to fire. Darius had seen enough border incidents escalate into bloodshed. He raised a hand, signaling his officers to hold fire. Diplomacy was thin ice, but it was all they had. "What judgment do you propose?" he asked carefully. Her eyes locked on him, unblinking. "The one responsible for leading this violation must answer before me directly." Captain, a step forward. Part 2 taken. Negotiations ended with a single order. A shuttle carried Darius across the void, into the belly of the Sovereignty flagship. He was disarmed, escorted by armored guards through halls that gleamed like obsidian polished to a mirror finish. At the center of the vessel lay the throne chamber, less a throne, more a raised dais of crystalline metal, where Princess Serenya awaited. She regarded him with the same cold violet stare. "Humans," she said slowly, as though tasting the word. "So fragile yet so bold. Do you know what your trespass means?" Darius stood tall despite the weight of her gaze. "I know that misunderstandings happen in unexplored space. And I know we have treaties meant to prevent them from escalating into war." Her hand twitched, the faintest gesture, and the guards stepped back. Only she and Darius remained in the chamber. She descended from the dais, every movement deliberate, predatory. "You speak of treaties," she said, circling him. "Yet you cross into worlds you do not understand. You prod and dig, blind to what you disturb." Her voice dropped lower, edged with something dangerous. "You touch what is not yours." Darius met her eyes. "If my crew crossed a line, I take responsibility. The blame lies with me, not them." That made her pause. For the first time, something flickered in her expression. Curiosity. "You shield them," she said softly. He nodded once. "It's my duty." Suddenly, she stepped closer, so close he could see the faint luminescent lines beneath her skin, veins glowing like starlight. She raised her hand, fingertips brushing his shoulder with deceptive gentleness. The contact was electric, sending a strange pulse through him. But just as quickly she drew back, eyes narrowing. "Touch me again, human," she warned, voice low, sharp as a blade. "And you'll pay the price." Darius felt his heart pound. The words carried weight. Not idle threat but law. In sovereignty culture, touching royalty without sanction was considered a grave offense, sometimes punishable by death. He realized she had tested him, lured him into a dangerous threshold. But he had not moved. She had touched him first. And she knew it. Part 3. The Trial of Wills. Instead of execution, Serenya decreed a trial. Not of law but of will. Humans, she claimed, were untested, their place among the stars unearned. If Darius wished to walk free, he would face the sovereignty's rights. The chamber transformed into an arena. Holographic walls shifting into vast landscapes, from deserts of burning sand to forests of silver flame. Serenya herself oversaw the trials, sometimes watching from her dais, sometimes stepping into the simulation to test him personally. First came endurance. Darius was cast into a storm of razor winds. His body bled, his muscles screamed, but he pressed forward, refusing to falter. Then came combat. He faced holographic warriors, constructs drawn from sovereignty legends. Blades clashed, sparks flew, and though outmatched in strength, Darius fought with grit and cunning, turning every weakness into an opening. Finally came truth. A chamber of illusions surrounded him with phantoms. His crew dying, Earth burning, Serenya herself striking him down. He was told to yield, to admit humanity's weakness. Instead he stood firm. "We are flawed," he said into the void. "But we endure. That is our strength." The illusions shattered. Silence fell. Serenya approached once more, her violet eyes unreadable. "You persist," she murmured. "Even when logic says surrender. Even when failure seems certain. That is unusual." "Unusual," Darius repeated, almost smiling despite the exhaustion. "Where I come from, we call it hope." For a heartbeat, something softened in her gaze. Then it was gone. Part 4. The Bond. Days passed aboard the Sovereignty flagship. Darius remained under Serenya's watch, neither prisoner nor guest. She questioned him often, about humanity, Earth's history, its wars, its art. At first, her tone was sharp, probing, searching for weakness. But gradually, her questions turned to curiosity. He told her of oceans stretching farther than sight, of music carried on strings and voices, of humanity's endless hunger for the stars. She listened, though her face betrayed little. In return she spoke, cautiously, but enough to reveal fragments of herself. She was heir to a throne she had never asked for, bound by duty, shaped by centuries of tradition. The sovereignty saw humans as reckless children, dangerous in their ambition. Yet she admitted quietly that Darius had unsettled her expectations. One evening, as the stars drifted beyond the viewport, she stood beside him in silence. "You spoke of hope," she said at last. "Do you truly believe it can carry your people through the dangers of this galaxy?" Darius turned to her. "I believe it's the only thing that ever has." Their eyes met, his steady, hers uncertain. For the first time she did not look away.